FNaF. What does even FNaF stand for? Friends never abandon friend. Five Nights at Freddy's turned 10 years during 2024. And there's a lot of shit that came out in 2024 for Five Nights at Freddy's. And if you've been as disconnected as I was during this year with FNaF, you're gonna ask yourself, what happened this year? There's a lot of things that's happened this year since FNaF turned 10 years. So today, my friends, I decided to take on the task and investigate what the fuck happened with Five Nights at Freddy's during 2024. This is the first time of me trying to do a video of this type, so if you've got any suggestions of how can I improve the video, please you can leave it in the comments. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about today is going to be the game releases of 2024 for Five Nights at Freddy's. We didn't have much game releases. So the first game that we're going to talk about today is going to be Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. So in case you didn't know it, Into the Pit forms part of the Fazbear Fright series, and this was the first story to came out, the first book, the first everything, so this shit what started everything. And now it's got a game! Released the 7th of August on Steam for $99. You can have the amazing experience of playing the first Fazbear Fright story, I guess. So from what I read, the game was in development since 2019, since the first Fazbear Frights came out. It's basically just Into the Pit but as a game. With extremely positive reviews and one of the most anticipated FNaF projects for 2024, you can play as Oswald, the protagonist of Into the Pit. And from what I read, the book is not the exact same thing as the game. It has a little bit of changes. Survive 5 nights of terror in this chilling adventure game. Travel between time periods, collect clues, and escape the threat that relentlessly pursues you. Move fast and stay hidden, and you just might survive. But be careful, it's not just your life that is at stake this time. So now some sort of fun facts about the game is that it was nominated in the Horror Game Awards of 2024, and it was the first FNaF spin-off to have a physical copy. And since I'm one of the few idiots who ran Into the Pit, we're gonna be talking about the difference between the game and the book. But to do that amazing comparison, I had to buy the game. And since I remembered that I have a Nintendo Switch, I decided that the best idea was to buy it using gold points. So I decided to try and get the gold points of some of the Nintendo games that you can get if you have a Nintendo Switch, to try and get the game for sort of like for free. But I failed miserably. The thing is that the requirement to get the gold points, the game must be at least 1 year old after the original game release. I tried to do that with every Nintendo game Switch that I owned, but it didn't work. So I decided that the best idea was to watch on YouTube a comparison between the game and the books. So I just took out the most important and interesting differences between the books and the games. So the first difference is the fact that Ben, who is Oswald's best friend, is never mentioned in the games. The other thing is that it was never shown the fact that Oswald also spent time on a library and not just on Jeff's Pizza. Now, going into the time travels in the game, the first time travel of Oswald, he witnesses the missing children incident. Unlike in the book where his last visit is where he witnesses the missing children incident. There's a scene that happens in the game and doesn't happen in the book and is never mentioned in the books, and is the first interaction between Pete Bonnie and Oswald. So the thing is that Oswald was playing hide and seek with the friends he made, that's Chip and Mike. Unlike in the books, he just meets them and keeps seeing them, they never played hide and seek. So while Oswald, Chip and Mike are playing hide and seek, Oswald decides to hide in Golden Freddy, and that's his first interaction with Pete Bonnie because Pete Bonnie is stalking him in the Golden Freddy suit. So unlike in the book where Oswald never returns after the missing children incident, in the game he returns to help the victims. He's got such a big heart. Is the fact that the final act, sort of like the boss fight and all that kind of stuff, happens completely different. So in the book, Oswald decides to go to Jeff's Pizza to look out for his dad because he's fucking tired of Pete Bonnie. I mean, who wouldn't be fucking tired of Pete Bonnie? I'd be tired of Pete Bonnie too. So when he's going to look out for his dad, Pete Bonnie follows him because he was just escaping the house and Pete Bonnie didn't want him to escape the house. So he just fights Pete Bonnie in Jeff's Pizza. Unlike in the game where he actually returns back in time to go and look for his dad, where his dad was kidnapped by Pete Bonnie. What an amazing ending, isn't that? So the thing after that is they start fighting like in the book, and he and the Pete Bonnie in both stories ends up like choked in the I forgot the name of that shit. The thing that covers the pit bull. So that's sort of like the most notable differences in game. If you want to know more about the game lore, this is not the best place to look out. And now going to the most important thing for the fans. Lore. Canonicity. Timeline. Is it canon to the FNaF timeline? A. Yes. B. No. C. I don't fucking know. D. None of the above. E. All of the above. F. Freddy Fazbear. Actually, it's not, because there's no confirmation of this game being canon to the FNaF timeline. The thing is that Scott made a statement like in Reddit a while ago talking about the games and the book canonicity. He talked about the Silver Eyes not being canon at all, it just has some elements in common, and the Silver Eyes could be used to solve the FNaF timeline. But talking about the Fazbear fights is like a complicated topic within the FNaF community, but based on the knowledge that the FNaF community has, if they connect with Eleanor or the storyline of the Stitch Wraith, they are canon. And as far as I know, Into the Pit is connected with Eleanor, so there's a high chance that it could be canon. The other thing that FNaF fans care a lot about is the lore contribution of a game or a book. So this game is not going to change anything the lore of the base storyline, as already said. And Into the Pit hasn't done much to change the storyline or the timeline of Five Nights at Freddy's. It just has given us some tiny details to fill in the gaps of the storyline itself. So yeah, that's sort of like the basic thing of Into the Pit. Now, 5 laps at Freddy's. Oh, I'm sorry, did I play Mario Kart? Is it because they are the exact same thing? So the next game release for 2024 has gotta be 5 laps at Freddy's. 5 laps at Freddy's is the exact same thing as Mario Kart, but with 5 laps at Freddy's characters. Wow, that's amazing! Released as a free demo the 7th of August of 2024, 5 laps at Freddy's, the exact same thing as Mario Kart. I don't know what else to say about the game. It's just like a Mario Kart game, but with 5 Nights at Freddy's characters. The description of the game in Steam is the following. Welcome to 5 Laps at Freddy's, the premier animatronic kart circuit featuring your favorite and lovable Fazbear friends. Sponsored by Fazbear Entertainment. I already played the free demo, I'm terrible at it. I already played the demo, and as I already mentioned before, a lot of times, 100 billion times, is the exact same thing as Mario Kart, but with 5 Nights at Freddy's character. There are some things that I would like to highlight of the game that are amazing, sort of like in my opinion, and it's the night shift and day shift mode. So since it's 5 laps at Freddy's, so you have to do 5 laps at Freddy's, there's a high chance that you're gonna get the night shift and day shift mode. Well, not a high chance, it's you are gonna get the night shift and day shift mode. The thing is that there's a counter with time up in the screen where it goes from day to night. So when it reaches 7 PM, you're gonna get the night shift. It's more of like a visual thing. It changes from a light looking course to a dark looking course. If there's one thing that I fucking hate about the night shift, is the fact that there's an animatronic, right? I mean, we're all animatronics. I mean, we're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. We're always gonna get jump scared by something. But the thing is that there's this animatronic that you can, I don't know who the fuck puts that. I don't think that you can even put that animatronic, it just comes automatically to get you. The thing is that when you get that animatronic jump scare, that's the thing, I think that's the equivalent as the blue shell in Mario Kart. But unlike the blue shell, this animatronic can get everyone. You don't need to be in the first place to get killed by that bitch. That's mainly it. The game is not complete yet, so we do not have everything that the game is gonna include yet. We need to wait until this year to get the full game. So yeah, that's basically it. Now what FNaF fans love the most, as I already mentioned before. Is it canon? Of course not, it's not canon. And that's basically it about the game. Now that we finished talking about the game releases, we're gonna be talking about the game news. I mean, there's a lot of game news that happened this year, there's a lot of game announcements, updates, and a lot of things that happened in games, but there were not a full game, not a release or anything yet. The only 2 game releases were Into the Pit and 5 Laps at Freddy's. So now we're gonna talk about other game news that are not releases.
My name is David. I want some ice cream. David, that is my name. David, I want another. David, where is my ball? I'm running out on the road. There's a car.
So the first thing that happened with FNaF games this year is the fact that FNaF Special Delivery shut down. The thing is that Illumix closed all servers on March 14th of 2024. The thing is that FNaF Special Delivery was like abandoned since 2021, it didn't have any updates, and Illumix didn't give a shit about FNaF Special Delivery, so they didn't do much for the game after 2021. So Illumix did the most intelligent decision that they could have ever done with Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery, and it was shut once and for all the game. So for those last 6 weeks that the game had, you could have special rewards, special bonuses, and access to the DLC games using in-game currency instead of paying with real money. That was like the most important thing, the most interesting thing about FNaF AR's shutdown. The thing is that they didn't make much impact on FNaF fans because, I mean, Illumix didn't care about the game, they didn't do anything to update it, so FNaF fans got bored of the game and they just forgot about him. Now, if you were in touch with the community in 2023, you should know about the Mimic, a character that appeared first in Tales of the Pizzaplex, in a story called The character called the Mimic appears in a story called The Mimic. That's amazing. So now talking about the Mimic, announced the 6th of August of 2024, Secret of the Mimic. The Mimic is now gonna have his own game. So now the Mimic's gonna be a canon character for all of the games. He already appeared in Ruined, and now he's gonna have his own game. Now the fanbase theorizes that it will release the 6th of April of 2025. Now we're gonna read the description that it has in the official PlayStation page. Deep dive into the past to discover the horrors of the future. That's literally it. Another thing that we know about the game is that in PAX West of 2024 you could play a demo. And if you didn't go, well, I'm so sorry for you, you could never play the demo. There's not much known about the game, but the people who were there in PAX West and played the demo say that it has a similar gameplay as Security Breach. The other thing that we know about the game is that it introduced Jackie, a new character. So Jackie is known for being an antagonist in Secret of the Mimic. The people who played the demo in PAX West said that it appeared on the demo, and Jackie was the only character to appear in the official trailer or teaser of the game. Now Jackie also did an appearance in Help Wanted 2, but we're gonna be talking about this later. Now for what we have about Secret of the Mimic, what does it contribute to the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's? The first thing that FNaF fans noticed is that at the end of the trailer, teaser, or however you wanna call it, you can see the number 1979 at the end of the teaser. This number is theorized to be the possible year that Secret of the Mimic takes place in. But we need to wait because it releases this year, so we're not gonna have to wait much. You all remember that I mentioned Help Wanted 2 in the Jackie section? So the thing is that Help Wanted 2 was updated in December 10th of 2024. It's not sort of like a big update, it's more of like a teaser for Secrets of the Mimic. It's sort of like a mini teaser that you can unlock by doing certain things. The changes that were done into the game is that Mystic Hippo has new lines to guide the player. The thing is that Mystic Hippo gives you a code to the Sister Location game mode to get a Tiger Rock plush. During this game mode, during this night, you can see a Jackie image. Once you exit this mode, you can now go and see Ruin Mimic and Jackie on the gallery of Help Wanted 2, as I already mentioned before. The other big thing about the update is that you can go into the exit door and you can see that it's open. Once you exit the room that you're in, you can see Jackie's box. The thing is that in Jackie's box, there's a jigsaw puzzle. You can finish the puzzle in two ways, with Bunny's mask and without Bunny's mask. When you finish the puzzle with Bunny's mask, you can see a gift shop that is theorized to be something related to the Mimic, and when you take a look at the jigsaw puzzle without Bunny's mask, you can see a white van with Mexes inside. It's sort of like a cutscene where you can see Mexes being pulled by the van, sort of like being kidnapped by the van. That's sort of like the update, as I already mentioned, is a teaser for Secret of the Mimic. Now the part that I wanted to talk the least about, the book news.
My name is David. I want some ice cream. David, that is my name. David, I want another. David, where is my ball? I'm running out on the road. There's a car.
With FNaF books, we've got 3 new installments and 1 upcoming book that is gonna release this year. And we're gonna be talking about it because today we talked about what happened with Five Nights at Freddy's in 2024. And that happened with Five Nights at Freddy's for 2024. And now we're gonna be talking about the books that released this year. This year it was presented to us a new series of books called the Interactive Novels. So the first interactive novel that came out is called VIP. It released the 3rd of August of 2024 for free. You can find it on Google Play, on Amazon, and I forgot the other website. No, I'm not gonna be talking about all of the novels. If you want to know about more of the novels, there's a lot of YouTubers that summarize the novels of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm not gonna be doing that. But you can go and look out on YouTube for this, I don't know, VIP summary in Google. You can do that. I'm gonna give you the brief summary that Amazon has. You, the reader, are Devon, and you've won VIP passes to the hottest place in town, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzaplex. These all-you-can-eat, all-expenses-paid tickets are guided by a digital companion, very informative pig. But does your VIP host have something sinister in mind? With multiple endings and 2 difficulty settings, this one-of-a-kind free ebook is a uniquely entertaining experience for any Freddy fan and the perfect way to get ready for the September 2024 launch of The Week Before. That's the summary, that's sort of like the introduction that you get in Amazon of the book. If you're interested on reading it, as I already mentioned, you can look it out on Google Play and on Amazon. And if you're not interested in reading it but you want to know more about the book, you can go and search on YouTube any YouTuber that summarizes. The next interactive novel that was released this year is The Week Before. The Week Before was the most talked about novel this year. Released on September 3rd of 2024, for $12.99. Now I'm gonna give you the summary or sort of like the introduction that you get in the Amazon page of the book. An instant New York Times and USA Today bestseller. Return to where it all began in this interactive novel set before the very first FNaF game. You, the reader, are the security guard and you've got 5 nights, or is it 6, to survive Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy as they try to wipe you out. With over 25 different possible endings and 2 difficulty settings, this one-of-a-kind innovative novel is a uniquely entertaining experience for any FNaF fan. As I already said with VIP, if you want to read it, you can go and read it and buy it. And if you're not interested, you can go and look at a summary on YouTube. The week before had a big impact in the Five Nights at Freddy's community, and it's because it was talking about the Phone Guy's experience. A character that we only heard. We never knew anything about the Phone Guy, but here we are. Here we finally get to know about the Phone Guy. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but the Phone Guy's name is Ralph. That's the only thing that I'm gonna say about the novel. Released on December 24th for $12.99. Return to the Pit. We've got another Into the Pit installment in the franchise. Now the summary of Return to the Pit. Dive into an interactive retelling of one of the most popular FNaF stories and the basis for the hit video game Into the Pit. You, the reader, are Oswald, and after using the ball pit at Jeff's Pizza to travel back in time to 1985, you've brought a sadistic animatronic back into the present. Can you escape, or will it be game over for you and your friends? With over 25 different possible endings and 2 different difficulty settings, blah blah blah, the exact same bullshit that we already heard before. From what I see, or sort of like the reviews that you see on Amazon, it's the exact same thing as Into the Pit, but interactive. It doesn't change much the story that we already have of Into the Pit. If you wanna buy it, it's fine, but it's better just to buy the original book. Now the 4th installment of the interactive novels has gotta be Escape of the Pizzaplex. Escape from the Pizzaplex is not out yet. It's gonna be out on April 1st of 2025. It has the same price as the other 2 books, and the description, summary, introduction that we get in Amazon is the following. Relive the newest, the biggest FNaF location and setting of the Smash Security Breach game in this all-new interactive novel. You are Cassie. Cassie survived, trust me guys, this goes after Ruin. I talked with Scott Cawthon and he told me that it goes after Ruin. Anyways, you are Cassie, a young girl trapped inside Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. Chased by terrifying animatronics as well as the night guards, you've got to do whatever you can to make it out alive. Can you escape, or will it be game over before dawn? So that's it for the books section. We've got a new book series called the Interactive Novels, and we already have 3 installments, and now this year in 2025 it will release a new installment. And now to finish up this video, we're going to be talking about other news, announcements, releases, etc.
My name is David. I want some ice cream. David, that is my name. David, I want another. David, where is my ball? I'm running out on the road. There's a car.
It was announced a collaboration between Dead by Daylight and Five Nights at Freddy's. It was just the announcement because it will come out on summer of the present year. We've got also the announcement of the second FNaF movie. It's sort of like a teaser of Toy Freddy hiding behind the curtain. I'm not sure if it's the Pirate Cove or the stage, but we have a little teaser of Freddy hiding behind the curtain and a big 2 in the screen. And we also got to know the release date of the movie. It will release the 5th of December of 2025. And now the last information, the last thing that happened with Five Nights at Freddy's during this year is that Doc Hall got to interview Scott Cawthon again. It premiered the 4th of August of 2024, and if you want to watch it, there's a link in the description. And if you've got the attention span of a 5-year-old kid that you need to Subway Surfers gameplay on the side and you cannot watch a 1-hour video completely, you can go and look for the link in the description of a sort of like a summary or a highlight of the key points that the user GB Aura Richard did on the Five Nights at Freddy's subreddit. Shout out to them. So that's everything that happened with Five Nights at Freddy's this year. It's been like a big year for FNaF. We've got like 12 announcements, 12 news for FNaF this year. I mean, it was the 10th anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's. Of course, we're gonna have a lot of stuff. FNaF is now officially a decade old. 2024 was a wild year for Five Nights at Freddy's. We just gotta wait to see what else those Five Nights at Freddy's has for the future. We need to wait for all these announcements to finally come out. So that's basically everything that happened with Five Nights at Freddy's during this year. I literally had 12 pages of information just for this video. And thank you all everybody for watching this video. If you're watching this, you're amazing. Hope you all have a great afternoon, great morning, great night. Whenever you're watching this video, I hope you have a great time. See you all in the next time.